Gongo.
She rescued a goat and it started talking.
Gongo.
Once upon a time, many years ago, there was a woman named Amaka who lived in a small village. Amaka was a very poor woman, but what she lacked in money, she more than made up for in kindness. Everyone liked Amaka because she was very hardworking and graceful. She treated everyone with respect, even little kids, and carried herself with pride. Some people gossiped about her. They hated that she didn't worship the ground they walked on because she was poor. But Amaka never paid them any mind. She knew she couldn't please everyone. Amaka was a farmer who sold her farm produce at the village markets. Her crops were very fresh, but for some reason, she never made enough sales to sustain her. She did the best she could, grew good crops but never sold well. Not even the many people who liked her really patronized her. Many times she wondered why, but just told herself that maybe luck wasn't on her side. The little she made was enough for her to get by. One morning, as she was on her way to the stream, she saw an injured goat by the roadside. The goat looked so weak and hungry. She didn't know if the goat belonged to someone, so she went ahead to fetch her water. On her way back, she still saw the goat lying in the same spot. She felt so much pity for the poor animal, but she decided to go home and get ready for the day, especially since she didn't know for sure if the goat had an owner. As she prepared for the day, the goat remained on her mind. She loved animals and had helped animals in the past before. The little bird with the broken wing, the dog with a thorn in its paw. She hoped the owner had come to pick it up, but she couldn't keep the goat off her mind. "I'll go and check on it again, and if it's still there, I'll help it," she said to herself. "I'll go and check on it again. If it's still there, I'll help it," she said to herself. She walked down the path that leads to the stream again. This time, the sun has fully risen. She saw the goat still lying there, bleating weakly. She lifted the goat up and carried it home. When she got home, she cleaned the goat up, treated its injuries and fed it the yam and potato peels she had for dinner and breakfast. After she had fed the goat, she put it in her shed and made sure it had everything it needed. She carried her produce to the market again for sales that day. Sales that day were the same as always, slow. After the day, she gathered her wares and left the market. When she got home, she checked on the goat and saw it eating the grass and other food she had arranged in the corner for it. She was so happy that the goat could move now. As she was about to leave the shed, she heard a voice say, "Thank you for helping me. I knew you would help me." She turned to look at the goat, then she laughed. Surely, she must have had a long day and was now imagining things, she thought. As she turned to leave, she heard it again. This time, she saw the goat standing behind her. "Do not be afraid. You are not hallucinating," the goat said. "My name is Okwu. Okwu the talking goat." Amaka was too shocked to speak. She had never experienced something like that. "How?" "I'm magic. I can help people get their heart desires. I'm not an ordinary goat," Okwu said. "You obviously are not an ordinary goat. How did you get there?" Amaka asked. "My last owner wanted to use my power wrongly, and when I refused, he beat me up, starved me, and abandoned me by the bush path. But then you saved me, and now I owe you." "No, you don't. I didn't save you because I was expecting something in return. I just wanted to nurse you back till you're healthy again." Amaka refused. "And that's exactly why I want to help you. You are not expecting anything from me. Tell me what your heart desires are," Okwu said. Amaka thought long and hard about this. "Okay, I would like for my business to flourish," Amaka said. Okwu's horn started glowing. "I will come with you to your farm tomorrow morning. Okwu said, Amaka agreed and went in for the night. She thought about this mysterious encounter throughout the night. This was a very strange occurrence, but somehow she didn't feel weirded out by the talking goat whose name is Okwu. She couldn't wait for daybreak to see what would become of her life. The next morning, she woke up before the first cockcrow, bathed and went to get Okwu from the shed. As they walked down to her farm, Okwu talked all the way, and she realized she liked talking to Okwu. Okwu had many stories to tell and much wisdom to share, and she didn't mind listening to him. When they got to her farm, Okwu's horn glowed again. He touched his horn to the ground, and the crops grew bigger and fresher. When they went to the market that day, there was a long line of customers in front of Amaka's store. Amaka couldn't believe it. "What did you do?" Amaka asked in wonder. "You were getting comfortable in your little earnings, and it was becoming evident in the works of your hands. I just broke the barrier," Okwu replied. Okwu decided to stay with Amaka. It was the first time he ever felt loved and cared for, and Amaka continued taking care of Okwu. The more they were there for each other, the more they both flourished. Like a moth to flame, trouble lurked around the corner. Okwu's previous owner had caught wind of Amaka's booming business, but he was the only one who thought it was strange. He went back to where he had abandoned Okwu, leaving the magic goat for dead, but didn't see Okwu's corpse lying there. He didn't know how or why, but somehow he knew Amaka had saved Okwu and that Okwu was responsible for all her good fortune. It was too much of a coincidence. Snapping his finger, he vowed to put an end to this. Okwu can't choose to stop helping and then go ahead and help someone else. Okwu must be for him and him alone. If he can't have Okwu, then no one will. Amaka spent her hours after coming back from the market talking to Okwu. She realized the goat wasn't just magical, but also very wise and intelligent. They exchanged thoughts and ideas, argued on principles, and shared jokes between themselves. To Okwu, Amaka was a gift. She was as much of a gift to him as he was to her. This made him so happy. He had never felt this happy with any of his owners. Its white fur shone brighter. It was now round and full, and its horns appeared to be more polished. "Amaka, my friend," Okwu said one evening during their conversations. "Yes," she replied. Okwu was quiet for some time, deep in thoughts, as if putting thoughts together. "I don't know how to explain this because it's also unclear to me. But I see you and I at a crossroad, and dark, heavy clouds hang above us. I think this means a difficulty lies ahead. What do you think?" Okwu finished and asked Amaka. It was Amaka's turn to be quiet and deep in thoughts. Whatever it means, I know we'll overcome it. We've both been through dark times before. This won't be different, Amaka said, reassuring Okwu. In reality, she was reassuring herself too. Her reply pleased Okwu and put his mind at rest. They talked a bit more about Amaka's day before she had to retire for the night in preparation for the next day. Amaka opened her stall and set up for the day. She displayed her fruits, vegetables and other wares as she waved and greeted her neighbors in the market. Her day started so well. She had many customers on that day and this pleased her. She couldn't wait to tell Okwu about her day. As she was packing up for the day, a man came to her stall. She knew him. He was one of the richest people in the village. Onochie, you came to my stall today. Am I safe? She asked half jokingly, because Onochie had never patronized her until now. You are indeed safe, Onochie said, laughing and shaking his head. If you say so. How may I be of help to you? Amaka asked. I need one fresh melon, he ordered. Would you like anything else? She asked him. He just shook his head and said no. After she sold to him, she closed her stall and went home for the day, grateful for a good day. The next few weeks were the same typical ones she was accustomed to, but one thing stood out. It seemed like nothing to her at first, but the repetitiveness of the purchase weirded her out. Onochie has been coming to her store every day for the past few weeks, buying the same thing. It was very unusual. There's a man that's been coming to my store now to buy the same thing for the past few weeks. A melon. I don't know, I think it's very weird. Especially because he didn't used to buy things from me before, Amaka said as she gave Okwu his night meal. This man, what's his name? Okwu asked. Onochie, Amaka replied. Okwu wondered if it could be the same Onochie he knew, but shook his head. The Onochie he knew thought he was dead. It couldn't be. Please just be very careful of this strange man, Okwu told Amaka, and she nodded in agreement. After a very busy day at work, Amaka made her way home. The only thing on her mind was to bathe, eat, talk to Okwu, and then sleep. But as soon as she got home, she realized something was amiss. Her door was open. Her heart beat hard against her chest. She could hear Okwu bleat loudly, as if in panic, and rushed to its shed. There she saw Onochie standing with a cutlass. Onochie, what are you doing here? How did you get into my shed? What do you want with my goat? Amaka asked, bewildered. Onochie laughed like a deranged man and pointed the cutlass to Amaka. Your goat or my goat? He asked with a crazed look in his eyes. This goat is rightfully mine. What are you even talking about? Amaka asked. This evil man was my former owner, Okwu said. Amaka got filled with so much anger. So you were the one who left this poor goat to die, she shouted. Why did this stupid goat stop helping me? Tell me. And then he came to help you, Onochie shouted too. But you are a very wicked soul, Onochie, and the only stupid person here is you, you greedy man, Amaka said, standing in front of Okwu with her arms spread protectively. If I can't have him, no one will. Onochie said and charged at Amaka and Okwu. Okwu shouted and its horns glowed, creating a protective barrier between they and Onochie. This threw Onochie many feet away, knocking him out. After villagers heard the commotion, they ran into Amaka's shed to see what was happening. Amaka explained everything to them, but kept Okwu's secret safe. Onochie was arrested and taken to the queen for judgment, and peace was restored to Amaka's house, where she and Okwu lived together happily ever after. For 9 long days, the rain refused to stop in Umwoma village. The streets were flooded, the paths to the stream were gone, and the children, all the children were restless.
Oh, it's been raining non-stop for 9 days now. I'm tired, everywhere is wet. my wrapper, my slippers, everywhere. I just want one dry day. Just one.
Chica, you've spoken my mind. I'm tired too. The rain has stolen our sunshine. I miss going to the stream, playing by the mango tree with our friends. Everywhere is just wet and ill.
Yesterday, my father said even the goats are refusing to come out. Imagine! Goats that love trouble.
Sit down now. This guy is angry for nothing.
Maybe it's not angry. Maybe it's just...
What are you saying, Adobe?
I said... Well, I have a plan.
A plan?
To stop the rain?
Please, don't tell me you want to fight the sky now.
Laugh all you want, but you will thank me later.
What are you saying, Adobe?
As the others watched from the doorway, Adobe walked straight into the storm. Her bare feet splashed through the puddles. The wind pulled at her hair, but she did not stop.
Adobe, come back before you catch a cold, though.
This girl, she wants to get struck by lightning,
But Adobe didn't listen. She stood in the middle of their compound, raised her hands to the dark sky, and began to sing.
Miri, 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 go it do. Miri, 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 go it do. Oh, be good it do. Oh, be good it do. Chica, are you seeing this?
I think the rain is listening to her.
The thunder grew silent. The wind bowed its head, and for the first time in 9 days, the clouds parted, and the golden sun smiled on Umoma again.
Adobe, you did it!
You truly stopped the rain.
Didn't I tell you? Sometimes the sky just needs a song. Didn't I tell you?
You did it!
And so it was that the girl who dared to sing to the storm brought sunshine back to her village. From that day, whenever the rain stayed too long, the children would call on Adobe, the girl whose voice could calm the clouds. Sometimes the sky just needs a song. Wherever there was trouble, you would find Osareme. Her father, Okwu, was tired of all the trouble his daughter was always getting into, but he consoled himself with the fact that she was only getting into what he calls good trouble. One time, she had gathered soldier ants and put them in the wrappers of the boy that bullied her friend. Despite her inclination to mischief, she was a very kind girl who was always smiling. She helped her dad with chores in the house, sweeping the compound, assisting him in setting his traps, and fetching water from the stream. Osareme lives with her father in a small town with many rivers. Okwu was a hunter and a farmer who did everything in his power to make his daughter have a very comfortable life. In school, Osareme was very bright, always asking questions. Her inquisitiveness got her the title Little Professor. She never hesitated to ask why, when, or how. This made some people like her, and some people envy her. There was a big tree in the middle of the village square. No one was allowed to sit under this tree, not to speak of plucking its fruit. Osareme had been asking everyone she could why this was, but they never gave her a satisfying answer. They kept telling her, "It's the rule. It's our tradition." She didn't want to ask her father because she knew he would not approve of her asking that question. He knew she would be won over by her curiosity, but she couldn't keep it to herself anymore. "Dad, why aren't we allowed to sit or pluck any fruit from the big tree at the village square?" Osareme asked her dad. Okwu was taken aback by the question. "You know, I have never really thought about it," he confessed. "But why do you think that is?" she pressed. Okwu took a deep breath, thinking about it. "It could have a spiritual connotation, but I think it's just our tradition. The way I told you not to go near the tree was the same way my parents told me not to go near the tree. So did their parents and their grandparents," she replied. That night, Osareme decided within herself that there was no point in the rule. Her reason was that if it was very important, an entire town wouldn't forget about it. Important things aren't lost to time. The first thing she did the next morning was to pluck a fruit from the tree. As she came down from the tree attempting to run away, she was caught by some villagers who came out early to sweep the marketplace in preparation for the day. They screamed in disbelief and took her to the palace. An abomination has been committed. It cost her father a lot of money to resolve the matter. He single-handedly provided all the materials needed for the village's chief priest to conduct a purification and appease the gods of the land. Okwu was very cross with Osareme, and she was constantly asking him to forgive her. The villagers were also very displeased with her, and some of her friends stopped talking to her for a short while. Some time had passed, and her father and the rest of the villagers had forgiven her. Osareme's wrongdoing was now a thing of the past, and she was rather on her best behavior. One afternoon, she went to get water from the stream. After she filled up her clay pot, she was about to leave when she saw a girl her age. She waved at the girl, and the girl waved back. "Hi, my name is Osareme. What's yours?" Osareme asked. "My name is Omono," the new girl replied. "I haven't seen you before and I know everyone here," Osareme said. "Yes, my family and I are from another village. We are new here," Omono replied, and they left the stream together. Osareme and Omono became really close friends who did everything together. They were both very intelligent and they perfectly complemented each other. Where Osareme was bold, Omono was timid. Where Osareme would act on impulse, Omono would be level-headed. One day, as they were eating roasted corn at the back of Omono's hut, Osareme was unusually quiet, and Omono noticed this. "Are you doing okay, Osa?" she asked. "Yes, I am," Osareme replied, munching on roasted corn. "It's a lie. You are lying," Omono said. After some time, Osareme sat up, eyes bright with mischief. "There's this river they said no one should go to. Not to swim or fetch water," she said. "Okay, and?" Omono asked, worried. "And I want us to go and see it," Osareme said. "There's no way we are doing something as dangerous as that," Omono said, getting up. They had a long back and forth, but somehow Osareme was able to convince Omono. "You promise we'll just look and not enter?" Omono asked. "I promise," Osareme said. The next day, when they were going to the stream, they took the path that leads to the forbidden river. The trees here were very tall, and the bushes were very thick. Just as Omono was about to ask them to leave, they heard the gushing river. It was so beautiful, with many beautiful flowers and colorful birds. As they admired the beauty, they saw two children who were also around their age. a boy and a girl. "What are you doing here?" Osareme asked. "We snuck away to come see the river. It's so beautiful," the boy said. They admired the river's beauty together in silence. They all played at the bank of the river, giggling and laughing. Omono went to find a good twig to draw patterns on the sand with. When she returned, she saw the other two kids leading Osareme into the river. She screamed Osareme's name, and Osareme woke up from her hypnotic state. Osareme took one step back in fear. "Wait, what are your names?" she asked. The two kids started turning slowly. When they turned to face her, their eyes were glowing red. Osareme quickly pushed them into the water and started running back to meet Omono. When they looked back at the river, they saw two very huge snakes thrashing about, and then they ran away. When they ran out of the river path, they found out it was almost nighttime. They bumped into the search party that was formed to look for them. They recounted their experience to the people present, and everyone shouted. They were told that they were lucky to still be alive, that if they had entered the water, that would have been the end of them. They were seriously scolded before being led home. After that day, Osareme learned a very big lesson on disobedience. If Omono hadn't been there, she would have been no more. After that day, she promised herself not to be disobedient again, because disobedience has only ever brought trouble to her.
Gongo.